And then while continuing to hold the right mouse button, we can use the W, A, S, and D keys to move around. So W will move you forward, S will move you backwards, A will slide you left, and D will slide you right. Now we can use that navigation to go to anywhere in the scene, and we can even select objects and see how they're constructed. So let's go ahead and do that with one of our objects. Let's grab this little torus thingy and go right click and say Open Selected in Unit Editor. Once it's open, we can go ahead and investigate how the flow has been created to make this asset work. So here we can see a very quick flow example of how this specific object is created. One of the really nice things about Stingray and the example that we're showing here is that we can really quickly investigate all the different ways that things are built, because it's all done in Flow, which is extremely easy to follow for most people in the game dev world. So with very little effort, you can find out how to highlight units, give tactile feedback, play pickup sounds, play impact sounds, and reset the objects to their starting positions. This is all extremely useful, and I would highly encourage anyone who's looking to create VR examples to use this template as their kind of starting point and their beginnings, because it'll really teach you everything you need to know. One of the most important things to take note of, and I'm not going to save this, is the actual controller itself. And I want to just quickly show you where that resides. Okay, so if we go to the root level of our test VR template, okay, or it'll be called whatever you named your project in your project, but we'll see this folder called VR Steam, and this is unique to the VR Steam template. And within here, we can see all the different parts of what we're using specific to the HMD, the wand, and many other parts of the controller. And if we look in here, we can look at the wand extras 1, and we can see the entire flow of how the wand is interacting with this world. And though it may seem a little complicated, you can really see very rapidly how the entire wand is built and how it is interacting with this world. So this is another place that you're going to want to look at and investigate when you're getting into VR. So if you're very interested in learning VR and how the VR system works in Stingray, this would be your starting point and the place that I would recommend trying to understand and looking through. Okay, that said, let's close this up now. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what it takes to actually get this to play back in our Steam VR headset. So the first thing that we'll want to do is launch this little Steam icon right here. And in the Steam icon, you'll have this Steam VR panel. So let's just go ahead and click that. And upon launching, it'll go ahead and do a diagnosis of your Steam VR headset and make sure that everything is working properly. And as you can see, the Steam VR system is starting up and everything is connecting. And once it says that it's ready, you know that you can begin using your Steam VR headset with Stingray. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit our Run Project button. Okay, now that our Steam VR headset is on and working, we can go ahead and use the thumb pad to navigate the scene, to teleport around, and kind of, explore the environment as you please. And you can go over to the different assets, and using the trigger button, you can pick things up, grab the baseball, hit the baseball, throw objects around, and generally experiment with all the different things that are in this level. We have examples on simple hittable objects that you can push around with a controller. We have a set of drums that you can play. We have examples of light switches. And even doors that open. We have a very nice little bouncy ball to show how to work with physics. My catching isn't so good. And my personal favorite, Miniature Land, where you can really see how to change your entire perspective in the Steam VR headset. which is one of the really exciting things about VR, is that you can do things that you just can't do in the real world, like become the size of a mosquito. Let him go. I can then go over to this little steam valve and rotate the steam valve, shut off the steam or enable it. And that is basically it. We can also see that we can go up to higher levels, which is really awesome, and just kind of investigate the entire scene. So quitting out, we can see that we have a really comprehensive VR example. And as I was saying, you can look at any of the assets from the door to the light switch to the drums to pretty much anything inside the level. And by right-clicking on it and selecting, View in Unit Editor, you can go ahead and edit and see how any of these pieces are created. So this is just a really nice example of how to get started with VR.